Hi guys, I'm Mark, a scuba diving instructor from Safe Diving.
And I'm Mark Evans, Editor-in-Chief of Scuba Diver magazine.
So in this series of videos, we're going to be taking a closer look at an entire range of the newest scuba diving equipment, and all of these videos are sponsored by Mike's Dive Store, the UK's largest scuba diving retailer, and they hold most of these items in stock at all times.
They're also doing their bit for sustainability by moving to eco-friendly packaging. And they also donate 1% of all their online profits to the marine conservation charity Sea Changers.
So let's jump straight in. Okay, so here we have the Santi eLite Plus Drysuit. So this is a tri-laminate drysuit, a membrane, so it's nice and thin. This is on the higher end of the spectrum. This is basically an upgraded version of the eLite. So it's just had a sort of upgraded sort of cut to it. So it's a bit more flexible. You can do your shutdown drills a bit easier, but it's a very, very comfortable and lightweight dry suit that's going to keep you nice and dry. And it has some very smart features on it. So if we take a closer look at it, starting down at the feet, and we'll work our way back up. So the boots themselves, they have a flexible sole to them, so you do get more sort of maneuverability. The rest of the boot is neoprene, again, so very soft, makes it much easier to get in and out of. But they also have this Velcro section around the ankle, and that just means that you can tighten it up, and that just holds the boot in position so it doesn't feel like it's shimming around whilst you're on a dive. It also helps to stop air from migrating up into your feet. Moving up, you see the neoprene continues all the way up, so you have full range of motion. They're less like a pair of Wellington boots, more like a neoprene sort of wetsuit boot, so you get lots of sort of flexibility and maneuverability for all sorts of different fin kicks. Moving up the leg down to the knee, and here we can see the three different materials that we have inside. So this section here, this is Kevlar reinforced material, so it's really, really strong and sort of abrasion resistant. So when you're kidding up, you're sort of kneeling down on the deck, it's just going to protect those knees so they're not going to wear through. Moving further on, we have a slightly less sort of abrasion resistant material, but it's a little bit more. And then we have the sort of lightest material, which is good for flexibility. Moving up to the suit, the crotch itself has more of that abrasion resistant material, not as tough as the knee pads because you don't want that down there, but this is just sort of robust for crotch strap, so it's not going to sort of rub. It does have an elasticated crotch strap because this is telescopic. The kind of the midsection over your abdomen just kind of overlaps over itself, and this just tucks it in and keeps it nice and neat. But over the legs we have our two thigh pockets, so it's pretty much the same on both sides, decent sized thigh pockets. So on the outside, just on the main tab, we have this zippered section. So you have a quick access pocket, and inside that you have a couple anchor points, so two little bits of sort of bungee, so you can clip your bolt snaps off onto that. So for quick access items, you can just stow them in there. Zipping that back up, at the very tip of the pocket, you have this little section here. That just gives you something to grab hold of to get into the main section of the pocket. Big section of Velcro means that it's sort of really grabbing. It's not going to just undo accidentally, and if you have lots of stuff in your pocket, it means that you get a bit more flexibility on where that sits. Two sections on the inside, one big cavernous section for your backup mask or your DSMB, whatever you want, you can stow it away in there. You can clip it off onto one of these anchor points, so lots of places to attach. You've got another one on the other side as well. And then behind that, you'll see we just have a second sort of section, much flatter. This goes against your leg. That's for your wet notes or a slate, just something that you want out of the way, but you can start to organize your stuff inside of your pocket. Moving up through the suit, so this is a front entry dry suit, so you can get in and out of it all by yourself. It has a protective zipper over the top. All this does is just protect that main dry zipper underneath it, and that goes all the way over your shoulder. And then underneath that, you have a plastic zipper. So this is much more flexible than the older brass type, and I find a lot easier to get in and out of because it's not quite as stiff On the inside of the suit, Santi have their braces, so elasticated braces. You can adjust the length so they're nice and comfortable, but they also have this little pocketed section as well, so you can store stuff inside and really stay organized when you're out of the water. Doing the zip back up again, we'll take a look at the valve. So the main inflation valve, this is Santi's thermo valve. So this is for connecting both your dry suit inflator hose and an EO battery. So if you have a heated undersuit like their BZ400, you can connect it to that, and that way the electricity from your external battery can get inside of your suit. You get a small amount of adjustment on the inflator hose, so that can come in from pretty much whatever angle you want, as long as it's in that range. And then to inflate, you just push on the Santi logo in the center. Moving across to the dump valve on your left-hand shoulder, pretty traditional. So with this one, if you need to vent it, you can always bash it by pushing that section in. That automatically sort of opens that valve, but you can screw it all the way in to effectively close that valve, or you can unscrew it just to make it a little bit lighter. So all the way open, any air that migrates around that valve will vent, but if you screw it in a little bit, you need a decent amount of air in front of that valve. Around the neck, we have the warm neck, so a section of neoprene that just goes over your seal. It just protects the seal from abrasion, especially from your shoulder straps. It also gives you a little bit of thermal protection, because these latex seals don't really offer you that much thermal protection, so it's like a tiny little wetsuit around your neck, but you can also tuck in your hood. But there's more. So if we go down the arms, we go to the cuff seals. So this is Santi's Smart Seals. So these are effectively a ring system for your dry suit, but unlike the rigid sort of rings or halos that go around most, these are actually flexible, so they're a bit more comfortable and a bit easier to get in and out of. And you can also fit a dry glove system to them. So this goes on really easily. You just push it on and that will click into position, and now your hands are perfectly dry as well. And that's the Santi eLite Plus Drysuit, a really high-end dry suit with a lot of fancy features, and it's really comfortable once it's on. To see a full range of dry suits, visit mikesdivestore.com, and you can always visit them in store in London. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Scuba Diver magazine channel to see more videos like this, and don't forget to hit that little notification bell so you're notified every time we upload a video. If you're still undecided whether you even want to dive in a dry suit, then you can click on this video where I basically explain why you should be diving in a dry suit. And if you're new to the world of dry suits and you want some helpful tips about diving in a dry suit, then you can click on this video. Thank you for watching and safe diving.